Alright guys, it is Kieran from Red Devil Weekly and we're back live once again to preview Manchester United's game against RB Leipzig. And you know what, I'm excited once again, as I always am, as you guys know who regularly watch the channel, I'm always excited for these sort of games. Champions League is back, and especially after that PSG game, I'm looking forward to this one. Before we get into it, as always, please do feel free to hit that like button if you do enjoy the preview. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Thank you so much for your guys' support. We've hit 830 subscribers, so thank you so much for that. We're now pushing, of course, to the next one, 840. Please do help us out with that if you can. If you are new around here, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And let's get straight into it, because I know you guys don't want to be bored with me plugging my own channel. You're on the channel already. You don't need me to plug it, so we're going to get straight into it. And RB Leipzig is the main thing I want to talk about first, because they are a proper proposition, trust me. And you guys will know that. You guys who are football fans out there who've watched the Champions League last year will know how dangerous Nagelsmann's RB Leipzig are. Got to the semi-final last year. A really tough team to beat. And they're flying this year. I just saw the Bundesliga table before I went live here. Top of the Bundesliga table. They're in great form. They're in really good form. Probably the worst time we could have played RB Leipzig. And to be honest, I wasn't expecting their great form, especially the fact they lost Timo Werner, who was so important to them. But they are doing very well so far. Yes, it's early days, but top of the Bundesliga. Got their first win as well against Istanbul. They currently sit top of the group on goal difference. Only one more goal difference than us, but goal difference nonetheless. But if we win this game, we can go 3 points clear of anyone else in the group after only 2 matches played. And if we get a win out of this game, it'll be huge. It'll have huge ramifications for the rest of the group, because realistically, everyone always talks about that magical 10 points mark that everyone needs to get to. We'll have 6 points after 2 games in a very tough group. We win our next game against Istanbul. We only need a point out of our next 3 games to pretty well guaranteed qualification, and that's in a group where a lot of people expected us to drop down to Europa League football. So if we get this win tomorrow, it could be absolutely massive for the rest of the Champions League campaign for Manchester United. So that's why it's imperative that we give a good performance. Old Trafford has obviously been a very bad place for us so far this season. Without a win in 5 matches at Old Trafford so far this season, and not even just this season, it carries on through to last season as well, where the last game we played at Old Trafford was a 1-1 draw against West Ham. So without a win in 5 games at Old Trafford, and Nagelsmann's comments in his press conference as well suggest that he knows the importance and the gravitas of playing at Old Trafford as well. So they're going to be right up for it. He's going to be right up for it. His players are going to be right up for it as well. And it's going to be a very tough test. Welcome Footy Live, Tom. Thanks for joining. And welcome Rashid. Thanks for joining as well, guys. Really appreciate it. Tom says, everyone hit the subscribe button and like the video and share. Kieran, top quality guy and host. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. You're always welcome on the stream. And, you know, Tom's a great guy as well. He's obviously helped me, you know, by coming on and by, you know, kind of sharing his wisdom, if you like. So yeah, listen, thank you very much for the support. Really appreciate it, mate. Really do appreciate it, as always. And I appreciate the support from all you guys, really, as I said at the start. And I'll say it again, you know, you guys are the reason why I do these live streams. You're the reason why I sit here and ramble into a camera, you know. This is the reason why I do it, because you guys watch it and you guys seem to enjoy it. And without an audience, I wouldn't do this, trust me. I really wouldn't do this. So thank you so much for everyone for coming in and giving your thoughts week in, week out. I do apologise as well. I just want to say I wasn't able to do a review for the Chelsea game. I was out after the game, so I wasn't able to actually do a review for that game. So I do apologise about that. I should have really done one the next morning, but I woke up too late, so again, I apologise. But I guess if you want to know my quick thoughts, let me know in the live chat, and I'll give you my quick review if you want to hear it. But obviously, you've probably seen a million reviews of that game anyway. You don't really want to see me rambling on about it. And anyway, it was a 0-0 draw. Who really wants to relive that? No one. Sifo, thanks for joining us. It's a Mighty Gunners versus Banter FC on the weekend. Ole's last game. I don't think it'll be Ole's last game, mate. I really don't. Could be Arteta's last game, the way he played against Leicester in the week. Shocking, mate. Shocking. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I saw a lot of Arsenal fans saying, you know, it's a complete sham what Arteta's been doing. All the success that Arteta's been getting is a complete sham. That's coming from your own fans. So what have you got to say about that, mate? What have you got to say about that? But obviously look, it's one game at a time as well. One game at a time. We're not going to get sucked into, you know, focusing on future games, because the way United are and how inconsistent, I should say, we are. We're not. There's no point focusing on Saturday when we've got a game tomorrow. So it's not going to be Ollie's last game. Trust me. Maybe you're happy about that. I know a lot of Raya fans want Ollie at the wheel for as long as possible. But it's not going to be Ollie's last game. Trust me. As I said, it might be Arteta's last game. Who knows? Tom says, you're doing a solo stream, mate, or are you going to get some us on later? No, 100%. I'll get you on in a few minutes' time. Don't worry about that. It's always great to have you guys on and have as many people on as possible as well. Because as I said before, me rambling on to you guys is all fun, all good. I know that some of you guys don't mind my soothing tones, but obviously, there's only so much that one person can say about a game of football, because at the end of the day, it is just a game of football, and that's why your comments are so valuable, because it means we can keep the momentum going, we can keep the flow of the conversation going when it's just me. But it's so good to talk to people and have guests and have debates and stuff, and as we have been having in the last few streams, it's been really fun. So 100%, mate, I'll get you on, no problem about that. So yeah, RB Leipzig, back to Leipzig. Obviously, we talked about how much of a test they're going to be. A few players to watch out for. Angelino, former Man City player. Another one that doesn't really get talked about, the fact that Pep brought him in and he's left. He's not a Man City anymore. No one talks about that, of course. But he's doing really well. Even though he's a defender, he's a fullback, actually. I think he's their top scorer right now. I think he scored like 5 goals in 3 games or something. Ridiculous return for Angelino. But I think he's definitely someone to look at. Poulsen as well. Someone who really fought at England when they played Denmark a few weeks ago. Really good player, very good at holding the ball up and distributing it, but he's actually really good with his feet. Obviously you got the saying, a good touch for a big man, but he's definitely got a good touch for a big man. Obviously dangerous in the air, really good with his feet, a player which defenders just do not want to come up against, trust me. And with our leaky defence, we do not want to come up against him whatsoever, but we're going to have to. We have to. It's a Champions League. You've got to play the best, and trust me, he is one of the best, especially right now, top of the Bundesliga. And of course, Upamecano, the main guy. Upamecano is probably the biggest storyline in terms of RB Leipzig when they are playing Manchester United, of course, because a lot of rumours in the summer saying we wanted him. A lot of rumours saying we wanted to go in for him. And I'm not sure how true that was. Obviously, he signed a new deal, which meant his release clause is now about £42 million. And that comes into effect in January. So whether we're going to trigger that or not, who knows. But obviously, Manchester United is one of the main teams in the running to get his signature. So that's going to be one of the main subplots in this game, the fact that he's playing and how good he was last season as well. He was unbelievable in the Champions League last season. One of the main reasons why they got to the semi-final really was his defending. He was sublime, really was. So that's going to be one of the other subplots in this game, Upamecano. But those are the 3 main players that we've got to watch out for. And I think as well, the tactical nous of Nagelsmann. Now, the reason why I've said to a few people now before going live that I actually think this is going to be a bigger test of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial qualities than the PSG game, because the PSG game was very much, we sat back and soaked up the pressure and counter-attacked, and we knew we could do that. We've done that so many times last season against City, against Chelsea. We know that we could play that way, and we knew it would be effective if we did play that way. But the reason why I think this is going to be a much bigger test is because Nagelsmann can change his tactical formation, his tactical approach to a game 3 or 4 times during it. And that is so difficult for managers to keep up with. If if you have a manager on the other side of the dugout who continues to change his team throughout the match, meaning that you have to continuously change your team, it really does call into question, what you've got about you in terms of your managerial qualities and your tactical knowledge. And this is, I think, where this is where it's going to be very, it's going to test Solskjaer. It really is going to test Solskjaer. Thanks for joining as well, Lewis Watts. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for Bruno. Thanks for joining, guys. Appreciate it. Has a screen gone black? Let me know if you guys can still see me, by the way. Let me know if you guys can still see me or hear me. Let me know. I don't know what's going on. It's still there for me. I'm not sure. I think everything's still all right for me. But hey, we're doing good, Lewis. We're doing good, mate. Thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate it. We're doing good. Bruno says, watching the Madrid game, I'm shitting myself. Yeah, well, listen. Don't shit yourself, mate. Don't shit yourself. Listen, we're not doing too badly at the moment. We've just come off the back of a result against PSG. You've got to have a bit of confidence. I mean, obviously we didn't win against Chelsea on the weekend, where realistically we should have beaten Chelsea, but we've got to have confidence after the week we had last week. I'll tell you what, if you would have given me 2 wins and a draw out of those 3 fixtures last week, I would have ripped your hand off. I really, really would. So we've got to have some sort of confidence, guys. We've got to have some confidence. Obviously, going into this game, I am a bit worried because, Leipzig are very good tactically, well, just saying. But we have the players. On paper, I think we have a better team than what Leipzig do. So that's obviously going to play into our hands. But the fact that Leipzig are probably coming to Old Trafford as a little bit of the underdogs probably will suit them as well. So it's going to be a very interesting game. Very, very interesting. Lewis says, hope we signed Upamecano, good young player. I agree. Welcome Skep YT as well. Skep YT goes, thanks for joining as well. He says, do you hear that Man United are preparing a move for Upamecano? A lot of people talking about that, and that's what I was saying. This is going to be the kind of undertone, the kind of context almost, the main context in this game is that Upamecano, from a Leipzig point of view anyway, Upamecano obviously very, very talented young centre-back, someone who United were touted as wanting in the summer. It's going to be very interesting to see how he plays. It could be his Old Trafford audition, as I hear a lot of people are saying. So that is going to be a very interesting subplot. I think pretty well everyone here supports United. Sifo obviously doesn't support United. He supports Arsenal. Banter FC. But listen, I don't care who people support really, even though this is supposed to be a United debate channel, United discussion channel. I really don't care who people support. Honestly, I wouldn't even care if we had Liverpool fans on here, as long as we could have a good discussion. It wasn't abusive or anything. Just banter, and like in the end of the day, we're all football fans. And it doesn't even, as I said, wouldn't even matter if there was a City fan here right now, as long as we're all getting along and he was giving his opinion on what we were saying, then I'd be absolutely happy with that. I really, really would. So yeah, most of us support United though. Most of us support United. We talked a bit about Leipzig, and let's talk about Manchester United. And the main thing I want to talk about is Donny Van Der Beek. He's the main guy I want to kind of give my perspective on, because a lot of the questions aimed at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and a lot of the newspaper speculation is about Donny Van Der Beek and why he hasn't been given the minutes that a lot of people thought he deserves and that he should have been given by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Obviously, £45 million signing in the summer. I think a lot of United fans, though, just to kind of kick it all off, I think a lot of United fans, including myself, when we bought Donny Van Der Beek, didn't think he was going to be a main star. I think most United fans looked at that signing of Donny Van Der Beek and said, he'll be very, very good for our squad depth. And there's no doubt that he's much better than a rotational player. But with the midfielders we already had in the team, with Fernandes and Pogba there, obviously Matic playing really well towards the back of end of last season, then you've got Fred and McTominay who are doing really well right now. Adding Donny Van Der Beek to the depth of that midfield will be invaluable to us going forward. But I don't think any of us really expected him to be a starter week in, week out. I don't think anyone expected that. So the fact that the media and everyone's getting on Ollie's back for not playing him is to me a bit ridiculous. I think Donny Van Der Beek is a quality player and he probably does deserve a few more minutes than he's getting. I think there was definitely some games this season already where Solskjaer could have subbed him on a little bit earlier, and there's also games where he's been subbed on and he's really changed the way our dynamic going forward. He's really changed the way we went forward, and obviously we got against Newcastle was the main example. We were obviously 2-1 up before we brought Donny Van Der Beek on. We bring Van Der Beek on, and we score another 2 goals. And or maybe actually I think Donny Van Der Beek was on before Bruno Fernandes got obviously the goal that ultimately won us the game. So Van Der Beek has had a very good impact on this team when he has played. Obviously he played. He played in the 2 games in the Carabao Cup against Luton and Brighton and looked very, very good. And actually, one of the big things I see with Donny Van Der Beek is his link-up play with Juan Mata. I think the way he plays with Juan Mata, he's also spoken about it in post-match press conferences, the fact that him and Mata can link up really well. Mata gets into the pockets and then plays it to Van Der Beek, and it's also vice versa. Mata can find Van Der Beek in those pockets. And it seemed to work really well, even though it was only Luton and Brighton. It was working very, very well. So I think those two can have a very, very good partnership. But I also like what I like about Van Der Beek is the fact he really works for the team. He works for his money. He is so committed. He has that Ajax brain. He has that Ajax way about him where, he's a team player. He's not playing for himself. Anything for the team. And that's why I love a player like Donny Van Der Beek. And that's why I was really excited to see him play. And I think he probably should have been played a lot more. But I do think that all the outrage about Solskjaer not playing him as much is ridiculous, really. I think it's way too much. But let me know what you guys think in the live chat. Let me see what you guys are saying right now. I think a lot of people debating with Sifo, which is the usual thing. Sifo likes to ruffle a few feathers, I should say. Lewis goes with a 2-0 win for us, and we top Champions League group by midnight. I like that, Lewis. I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right. Burrito Bruno says, lads, we've got to remember RB Leipzig were formed only 14 years ago or something. Later than that, mate. They were only formed in 2009, so just recently they celebrated their 10th year. They've only been a club for 11 years, which is mental to think that they got into the Champions League semi-final. But yeah, they've only been a club for 11 years. They're still older than Man City, but it's tight between those two. It's tight, which is the older club really. But yeah, I think they just edge it. They just edge it by maybe a few months. But yeah, 2009 was when they're formed, so the progress they've made is absolutely fantastic. Obviously, there's a bit of a controversy around, obviously, the sponsor and stuff like that. I won't get into that, obviously. You guys can look it up. There's a lot of controversial articles and stuff about it, and I'm not sure the fans are too happy, but anyway. Ewan Dunlop, my guy, thanks for calling you, mate. Appreciate it as always. It's Matt Cords a Pufter. I think that we can all agree on that, can't we? We can all agree on that. I hope he's not watching. He is watching. There he is. I didn't actually see it. Oh, he was watching. Anyway, we'll we'll carry on. We'll carry on as if nothing happened. As I said, Sifo, a bit of banter with Sifo. Obviously, as I say, he's an Arsenal fan, so you're going to get that. Matthew says, would go back to PSG team, maybe a forward at the back if Ollie feels adventurous. I would rather just get the win, to be honest with you. But thanks for coming on. I apologise for calling you a pufter, mate. I didn't know you were actually in. If you're actually in, I wouldn't have said it. But anyway, where is he? Oh, okay. So yeah, no, I don't like adventurous. I just want to get the 3 points. And in the end of the day, 3 points is all that matters. As I said, we go 3 points ahead of anyone else in the group, which really means that if we beat Istanbul, which realistically, we're expected to do, we go to 9 points after 3 games, and then 1 point realistically will take us through to the knockout stages. So 1 point out of our last 3 games, we should get that. So for me, I think, if we win this game, it's absolutely massive as well. Alice R. Predinks Live has joined us. Thanks for joining. Burrito Bruno says, free Donny Van Der Beek. Yeah. Listen, I don't think it's got to that yet, but maybe in the future, if it keeps going like this, where he's getting 10 minutes every game, we might have to start bringing out the banners. Get DT on the phone, see if he's got any spare. Skep YT21 says, anyway, we're nervous while we're facing Mbappe and Neymar and Mbappe, and what happened? We defeated PSG. I like that positive outlook, mate. I like that positive outlook. Lewis says, all jokes and banter, Sifo, you've got a good team. I love that. Look at that. I love that. May the best team win on the weekend. GG. Well, the best team will win on the weekend, and that is Manchester United. But yeah, you know what? I'll get you guys on now. I've been rambling for too long. It's nearly been 20 minutes. I'm going to get the guests on. So I'll put the link in the live chat right now. And if you want to come on, feel free to do so. But yeah, I'll get the guests on. Why not? Because at a point, you just got to go, you know what? I've rambled on for about 20 minutes, going round and round in circles. So yeah, there's a link if you want to join. And then I'll get my headphones and stuff sorted out. Tom says, we kept the clean sheet with 4 at the back. Can't wait to get on. I want that apology about it. I tell you what, there you go. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. That is going to be very, very interesting, of course. I'm sure the lads will come on very, very shortly as well, and we'll get that. So you don't want to miss that as well. Big Rom, thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate it as always, Big Rom. Thanks for joining, and just thanks for joining, taking time out of your day to watch. Appreciate it. Skep says Cavani would destroy us. Well, to be fair, Cavani came on against Chelsea on Saturday and didn't look too bad. Obviously, he had a shot blocked, which was definitely going in. If it wasn't blocked, that is in the back of the net for me. So, He could have got a debut goal. He really, really could have got a debut goal. I think he was unlucky. But I'm excited to see what Edison Cavani can do. And who knows, he might get a little role to play in this game off the bench. So we'll wait and see what Solskjaer does with that. Bruno goes with a 1-0 win to United. I'll take that all day long. I really, really will. As long as it's a Bruno Fernandes penalty, like it says in your name, mate. As long as it's a Bruno Fernandes penalty, I don't mind at all. That's what we love around here. That is what we love. Fire alarm going off with Matthew, so he's gone. Hopefully everything's all right there. Do you know, my fire alarm keeps going off, but it goes off for about a second and then doesn't, and then just doesn't go off again. So I don't know whether they're just testing it, and they must be just testing it. I don't know, but that's an insight into my incredibly interesting life for all you guys there. So yeah, as I said, I've put the link in the chat. If anyone wants to come on, please do feel free to do so. We can have a chat. We can get your thoughts. But first, let me just connect these headphones up. Big Rom says, I'd rest Bruno and Rashford tomorrow, play Van Der Beek and Greenwood instead. People claim Rashford has a good game against PSG when he didn't and should have scored twice before. A lot of people were saying before his goal that he was quite wasteful. I'm not going to lie, a lot of people were saying that. Obviously, he got the goal. He got the goal that we ultimately needed in the end of the day, so he did the business. But I think he was a little bit wasteful. He didn't have his best game overall. So yeah, I would agree with that. I'm not sure if I'd rest Bruno Fernandes. I still think this is a very, very important game for us. But hey ho, we'll see what Ole does. I wouldn't be surprised if he is a bit of some funky selections in there. But obviously Scott McTominay was doing the press conference with Ole today, so I think it'll probably be the same team as PSG. I think there won't be much differences. I think Alex Telles will probably get another game as well. But now is the time to get my guests in, and the first guest is the man, Big O, Owen. Thanks for coming on, I appreciate it. Tom's just gone. I'm sure he'll be back in just a second. But yeah, thanks for joining. And obviously you've seen the chat. You've been in the chat for a little while, so you've seen what people have had to say. Just quickly, in terms of what your feelings are going into this game. Are you nervous? Are you worried? Or are you confident after the last week of results we had?
Well, I'm less nervous about. There's a bit of an echo going on. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to decline from speaking until the echo's gone. Is the echo still there? No, I can't hear myself. I can't. No, it's fine. It's fine.
I don't really want to hear you twice anyway, Owen.
All right.
Tom's joining us. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. That's the voice of Tom, if anyone wants to know. But yeah, obviously, Owen, carry on, mate.
No, I was just going to say, last week, I think the results were a mixed bag for me. Obviously, great win against PSG, brilliant win against PSG. But to be honest, I wanted to beat Chelsea, and I
think we all did.
I was going to say.
No, I wanted to beat Chelsea, and frankly, the master tactician again, the Glazer puppet, master tactician got it wrong, didn't he?
Well, no, okay. Here's what I'm going to interrupt. I'll let you have your point of view, but my point of view.
Let me have a point of view then.
My point of view, just to give context to it, my point of view would be that he didn't actually get it. I don't think he got it wrong.
You agreed with me on the phone, didn't you?
No,
after the game.
No. I said I'm gonna lay it out. I'm gonna tell you what it is, because I don't bullshit. I don't do that. I'm gonna tell you how it is. For me, ultimately, what happened was, defensively we were solid. We were very, very good defensively. Maguire had a great game, and I think our defensive shape was good. The fact we kept the clean sheet. But going forward, we had very little going forward. I think Rashford obviously was quite wasteful with his chances once again. But we didn't actually create that much going forward. I think Chelsea are very, very happy with the point, and I think Chelsea came to Old Trafford wanting a point.
So what are your thoughts? My thoughts
I'm not happy.
You're saying it's fine because Chelsea wanted a point.
I'm not saying it's fine. I'm saying that it was made more difficult because Chelsea only came to play for a point. It's not an excuse, but it was made more difficult.
Sounds like an excuse, mate. No, what I'm saying is the team that was put out at the start of the game was frankly not not efficient enough to get the 3 points, in my opinion. I think that there was a lot. Has there ever been a Solskjaer lineup? You tell me if there's ever been a Solskjaer lineup that hasn't started with absolute outrage. You tell me. Every single time that he leaves out a player who he shouldn't leave out, I'm getting sick of it.
Against Spurs, which is well, obviously for you that's your memory's not is going a bit in it. So
No,
for you,
I actually watched the game. You didn't watch it, did you?
no, I did watch the game. What is this conversation? What is this conversation?
You
What I'm
watched
talking about?
the Spurs team.
No.
You said the Spurs team was good.
Yeah, I'm saying that when I remember against Spurs, when we put out the team, everyone was saying that is our best team. So there was no outrage there.
Was there not? Yeah, but that's of course we said last week why there's been no outrage from you, mate. You got the interview. Oh, you got the interview, yeah. No, anyway, I thought against Chelsea, the amount of the game I watched, I thought it was pretty rubbish, to be honest. I thought the sort of thing that people are saying that Chelsea were hard to break down. Well, break them down. We spent about 400 million on our team. We can't even break down Chelsea, who's, by the way, defence conceded 3 goals to Southampton the weekend before.
Well, I'm going to tell you this for nothing. That front line was not £400 million.
But that's what I'm saying. It's again.
You said we spent 400 million on our team. There's no way. Like we had Rashford up front as the only guy. Cavani came on, and he was on a free.
But again, we missed chances. Rashford missed a few chances. Their keeper had a worldie, of course, coming to Old Trafford. Obviously, you're going to have a worldie. So when Ben Foster comes back to Manchester United, comes back to Old Trafford, but I'll keep it never seems to have a worldie away from it. But I'm sure if we did go back to Bilbao or wherever De Gea was bought from, he'll have a worldie. Where are we buying from?
Bilbao. No, it wasn't. It was Madrid, Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, so if we play Atletico Madrid, they'll have a worldie. But we need to get through to the Champions League at that point.
I'm going to bring in Tom to give his thoughts on what Owen's been saying. I'm not sure if he's still there, Tom.
Tom said he was BRB, so I don't know.
Okay, well if he is gone, then I guess we'll carry on then. So obviously being negative.
I'm just reading the comments about.
Which comment do you want me to bring up?
Can you bring up Lewis Watt's comment about Diot is the next for Man United, please?
Okay, there you go. This one.
Yep. I think that's a very good comment, Lewis. Very wise comment. However, our board will not grant our wishes, unfortunately, because we couldn't grant our wishes for Jadon Sancho last time, where we were linked to him for like months and months and months. And we sat there, twiddled with our own belly button and said, oh, maybe the price will come down. Maybe the price will come down. And the window slammed shut.
I think you're just a bit salty because you were adamant we were going to get him. And we didn't.
Yeah, because I just thought that all the noise round it was like, oh, surely we're going to do something.
I thought you were told by your source. You told me it was done. You told me it was done.
Hey, I tell you what, you nearly believed me, didn't you?
I think you fully believed it. In fact, you were willing to come on and say to Tom, one of our beloved guests, if he doesn't sign, then you do an apology, and you had to apologise in the end. So how wrong were you?
Oh, I was very wrong, and that's why I'm so against the board now. I think it's surprising to me that. Well, actually, it's unsurprising that you're not. I mean, it's obvious.
I know. That's just right. First thing, I interrupt you again because I want to say I am against the board. I do feel like they're doing a bad job. I'm not cozying up to them for any deals. I haven't been paid. I haven't been paid by the club. Just to make sure you know that again. I'm going to say it one more time. I've not been paid. I've not been paid a single penny by Manchester United, by the Glazers, by Ed Woodward. I've not been paid. So we can get that out of the way. That's done now. That's done.
Can I have a picture?
Sorry?
Can I have a picture?
With me?
No, never mind. That's just a little joke, isn't it? That's just a little joke. No, I think Matthew Coyle's comments actually pretty sound, to be fair. Can you bring his one up, please?
He says, get to and Xavier Lindelof back together. So you had been off Maguire then?
Yeah, been off against Leipzig when they've actually got mobile players.
I think Chelsea have more mobile players than they do. They've got Poulsen up front. If you compare Poulsen to Werner obviously was much easier to deal with than the PSG front three. But Werner obviously has got the pace. That's his main attribute. Obviously, you've got Pulisic in there as well. Leipzig don't have as many players with the pace that is going to hurt Harry Maguire. So I have to go against you on that one.
So you'd play Maguire instead of Tuanzebe tomorrow?
I'm not sure if I play Maguire instead of Tuanzebe. I think I might play Maguire with him, but I'm not sure if I played him instead because I think Tuanzebe deserved a chance as well. He was fantastic against PSG.
Tuanzebe should have played against Chelsea. I have no idea why he decided not to. I literally have no idea why.
I don't think Tuanzebe decided not to play. I think he was just not picked.
I don't think I'm not. I mean, I don't know why Solskjaer decided not to pick him.
Devil's Reject, thanks for coming on, appreciate it. I bet he plays Fred and bang average McTominay tomorrow with Donny Van Der Beek on the bench. Obviously, that's the main talking point that I've got.
He probably will.
Well, we had decent success with it against PSG, but go off. Big Rom says the difference between Sancho and Umpa is that there's a release clause for Upamecano, which is more valuable to pay. It will bring more competition, but we can get it done by January.
Big Rom. The more sense it makes, the less likely it happens. We don't make signings that make sense. We sign a free agent on deadline day when we could have signed him like 3 weeks earlier.
I think. Yeah, I agree. I do agree to a certain extent with that, but I do also think that Alex Telles, for example, is a sign that makes sense.
Well, yeah, no, Alex Telles makes sense, but we went for Reguilon, but of course,
Wan-Bissaka made sense at the time.
Yeah,
Fernandes made sense.
Yeah, again, Fernandes was taken out of this summer's transfer budget. I heard.
I can't confirm or deny those allegations. Worldwide Red Show. Thanks for joining, Sean. Appreciate it. Make sure you do check out Worldwide Red Show.
How do you know his name's Sean?
Because I've been on a stream with him on Rich's channel. Great guy, by the way. Make sure you do check him out if you haven't already. Great stuff on there.
Yeah, check out Sean.
He kind of agreed to you, and he says panic buy FC. So
well, it is getting like that. A lot more people. You put me down, but I have a growing support on it that people agree with me. You put me down.
Oh, good God!
There's a growing support for my views. So. Thank you. Stick in there, guys. Stick in there.
Well, Tom, obviously you're back now.
Yeah.
I want to get your thoughts now because we've heard Owen speak for far too long. Really, we've let him go on for far too long. No, I'm just joking, Owen, or am I? Tom, thanks for coming on. And I asked Owen the same question. How you're feeling going into this game, particularly considering our last few results last week. Are you confident or are you still a bit worried the fact that Leipzig are a very decent side? Or do you think that the way we're playing at the moment and the way we play against PSG, are you actually positive going into this game? Are you actually confident?
Well, off the Chelsea game, you'd probably have to say no. Because the performance was all right, but really, when you're going into these big games, you want to coming back off of scoring a couple of goals. Like with the Newcastle game, we'd scored 4 goals going into a PSG game, which fired the players up. Now we're going in there with a 0-0 draw against Chelsea. In the pissing rain in Manchester, that's all we have really to shout about, and that's nothing to shout about at all. And when we consider the fact that this team has it's pretty much similar to Man United in terms of the average age of the whole team. The average age of Leipzig, from what I calculated, was about between 23 and 24 years old, with the odd exception. So when you counteract that with what Man United's building at the moment, Man United's team's fairly young in terms of developing. And I look at the way that Leipzig's been playing at the moment, the top of the Bundesliga by a point. They've been firing it in every other game. And I know they played against Istanbul in the first group stage game, but looks solid, tactically. And Nagelsmann, I know, is a man who's on a lot of clubs' radars in terms of if they sack a manager mid-season or want to appoint a new manager in the summer.
Including Man United potentially. Including Manchester United potentially.
Yep. That is one name. That is one club of many clubs, to be honest. So I think what what you're going to get from Nagelsmann. You're going to get organisation. You're going to get planning, and you're going to get tactics. That is Nagelsmann to a T. I think with the way he sets up this Leipzig team, with some of the players, he's brought in, players like Angelino from Man City, who a lot of people writ off when he was at Man City, and he's turned him into one of the best, probably attacking left-sided players in terms of current form as of right now. But no, I think when we look at the case of if Ole if Ole got the tactics right against PSG, he's got to get the tactics right probably 10 times more against this Leipzig team. I would say this Leipzig team is better than the PSG team that we faced, if I'm being honest, because it's a team. If I'm being honest, this Leipzig team is a team. PSG is individuals. Neymar, Mbappe, Di Maria. I see PSG as an individuals team. It's not a unit. It's not a full team. Whereas Leipzig don't have the big names, but they have the team. They have the full team who play for each other. And we've already, you've already touched on such as key players like Upamecano. A key player for them is Klosterman. He's an amazing fullback for them personally. So I think it's a case of that. A lot of the Leipzig, tactics is all down to that manager. And when we talk about Leipzig as a club, they've been in existence nearly 10, 11 years, and pretty much come
just
out
about longer
nowhere.
than Man City. Just about longer than Man City have.
Like I say, to get to a Champions League semi-final, they had to beat play some difficult games. Atletico Madrid's not an easy game. One leg, when you play one leg and you're playing in a different country altogether. PSG, I thought they was unlucky. In my eyes, personally, I think God really wasn't on their side that night. PSG got quite a bit lucky with some of the goals that they got, and somehow the ball just fell to them. But I think going into the game, it's a game that excites me a lot more than the PSG game, if I'm being honest, because it's at Old Trafford. However, with the run that we're on at Old Trafford, it's, if I'm being honest, we talked about PSG was a mountain to climb. Then this is them.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, I'd have to say that, for me, Leipzig are going to be a bigger test for Solskjaer, in my opinion. I think, as I said, at the start, Leipzig, with someone like Nagelsmann, has to be a bit cuter with the way they go about it. They have to be much more tactically astute, because the way that PSG go about it, they just go, you know what, Mbappe, Neymar, Di Maria, get the job done. That's pretty well what they say. And usually in the French league, it works. It works because the rest of the league aren't up to the standard. But in the Champions League, it doesn't work like that. And you saw that against Bayern Munich in the final. PSG competed, but in the end of the day, Bayern Munich was just too much for them. And you saw that in the game when we played against them, where realistically on paper, both of our teams are quite close. And, we were able to, we scored all 3 goals on that day. So, it just shows that I think it's much more difficult to play against a team who play as a team than a team who play, realistically with Neymar and Mbappe being the two main guys. And exactly. A few comments I want to read out. Sean praising you there, Tom, saying once again, Tom talks sense. So there you go, Tom. You're getting a bit of love as well. I don't want to leave you out. Obviously, I've seen a lot of people giving Owen a bit of love, so I wanted to make sure you got a bit as well. And look, that actually is again with Sean, 100%. Just took the words out of my mouth. Really, PSG are a gathering of individual. Leipzig's the team, 100%. 100%. Couldn't have said it better myself. A few people updating the scores in the Champions League as well. Benzema, I think, have put Real Madrid 2-1 up, I think.
Oh, have we got Chris Kamara in the chat?
No, we don't. But to be fair, the thing is that I read these out as if they're going to affect our group, but actually the only results that matter is what PSG do against Istanbul.
The only other results I'm looking at in the Champions League is when they get to the semi-final, because we'll know who we'll face in the final.
Oh, okay, I like that. A bit delusional, but I like it. Big Rom says Leipzig will be by far our biggest test. A tactical magician of a manager is what Ole will be up against. 100%. It'll be very hard. Yep, I think we're all. That's a unanimous. What have you got to say about it?
I think it's hard for me to be worried about Leipzig, to be honest.
Oh.
For me, I was more worried about Chelsea than I am with Leipzig. I just think
Owen, let me put a question to you.
Yeah.
Do you revolt back to your back 5 at the back?
Yeah, because it works.
Oh my! Right. Let's just clarify something.
If Leipzig are going to come at us with
wait. Let me finish. Let me land here.
I'll let you land.
The last game that we played, Chelsea. What was the end score? It was 0-0. 0-0. Thank you. So neither team conceded.
Yeah,
and we played 4 at the back.
Yeah, but we didn't look like hitting a barn door all game. If we played
but did we concede playing a 4 at the back?
Yeah, we've discussed the fact that Chelsea couldn't hit a barn door either.
Yeah. Chelsea offered very little, but that's why you're saying that you were more worried about Chelsea than Leipzig when Chelsea offered nothing going forward and Leipzig are top of the Bundesliga.
Yeah, but Leipzig they'll offer stuff going forward, but that's why you put the extra man at the back.
Oh Jesus Christ!
You play your 5.
Big Rom saying this Owen guy's literally Ty from AFTV. Oh, what a comparison! What a comparison!
How is he managed to get the I where it says Big O on my thing? Where's the I come from?
Oh no, he did correct it. He said Owen. To be fair, I'll give him that. He did correct it.
But no, I'm not Ty from AFTV. Although, to be fair, if it is raining tomorrow, I will tell you.
TTX, thanks for joining. TTX, really appreciate it. As always, says take a look at American Tyler Adams for Leipzig.
Mm-hmm,
I think he can do a job for us at DM. We'll have a look. We'll have a look, mate. We'll have a look.
Talking about Americans from the Bundesliga, I would have taken Weston McKennie as a DM.
I'll tell you what. I think we've got a few people in the chat who'll be able to tell you a lot about a lot of the American talents coming through.
A lot of people
Pulisic as well.
Yeah, he was scouted by Man United scouts, but Mourinho turned him down to try and get him.
All right, fair.
He wasn't a Mourinho type player. He said that's the reason why they didn't go and get him.
But to be fair, we're.
By the way, Real Madrid's just scored equalised in pretty much the last minute of the game.
Yeah, I thought they were 2-1 up, but actually they weren't. They were 2-1 down.
They were 2-0 down, and now they've literally just pulled it back. Are you joking?
Oh, fair play to him, man. Fair play to him. I love Madrid.
No, don't say that.
It means he loves the city.
Oh yeah, I love the city. I've never been.
Said Real Madrid.
Yeah, exactly. I've never been to Madrid, but I love the city. I love the culture. But anyway, what were we talking about? I can't remember what we were talking about.
We talked about.
No, Chelsea. Yeah, American in the Bundesliga, and we're also talking about how Owen thought that Chelsea was more of a worry than Leipzig. I feel like if we were talking, a year ago or 2 years ago, I think you'd be right. But I think as of right now, I think Leipzig are definitely more of the worry, just because realistically, on form, but even just in terms of the way the teams play, like at the end of the day, Leipzig actually have tactical systems they can switch up in a game. Against us, Chelsea had nothing throughout the whole game. They didn't change anything. They brought on Tammy Abraham.
They did. They had a bus parked in front of the goal. That was it.
And trust me, if Leipzig were struggling to break us down, they would change something. But Chelsea didn't change anything. They brought on Tammy. They brought on Tammy and Mount. Took off £100 million worth of talent, which no one's going to talk about because it's Chelsea. They took off £150 million worth of talent in Havertz and Werner, and they brought on Tammy Abraham and Mason Mount, who were bought for a pittance.
Academy guys. They weren't bought at all.
Well, exactly. Well, wasn't Mount bought from Derby?
No, he went
out on loan there.
Oh, he's on loan. Sorry, I'm right. You guys are right. You guys are right.
Frank was the first manager there for the first season, and then he got the Chelsea job.
TTX says can't see any other teams winning the Champions League for the next 3 years other than Bayern. They just have too much for any team right now.
Well, they haven't played us yet, have they?
Don't say that. I'll get clipped up.
Well,
that'll definitely get clipped up.
On the counter-attack, we can beat anyone. I swear, we can beat anyone on the counter-attack.
Yeah, but the difference with Bayern is that they're not like PSG, where they've only got good players going forward and everyone else is crap. Like, they've actually got good players all around the pitch. So even if we try and...
We beat Man City like 3 times last season playing on the counter.
Defensively, Man City have got nothing. They've got nothing defensively. That's why they've been spending another 50 million on defenders. because they've got nothing defensively.
Why then did they win the league with 100 points? Can you explain that one?
Because everyone, I mean, we were second. That's why they won the league, because we were the second best team, and we were terrible.
Explain
We
why
were the
they're
second.
record holders in terms of points then. Explain that.
We could go on about this all night. I want to get your lineup predictions, and I'm not going to get your full lineup predictions, actually. I mean, if you want to give them, you can, but I'm just going to ask you about specific players, and one of them, obviously, the main guy, Donny Van Der Beek. Do you think that it's his time to be started in the game tomorrow? Do you think he gets his first start in a proper important game? Because he's playing the Carabao Cup games, the Mickey Mouse Cups. Is it time he gets his first start in an important game for Manchester United this season? I'm going to start with Tom.
Simple answer, yeah. I think it's ridiculous, to be honest, why we buy a player this good of, a talent and, a couple of, 18 months before we signed him, everything was signed and sealed for him to go to Real Madrid. It wasn't 18 months, so I stand corrected on that. But, everything was set for him to go to Madrid. It was just pretty much a medical, but before he had a medical, the pandemic hit and everything, and it was all off. Suddenly then, he joins Manchester United out of the blue. And then pretty much has only played over 50 minutes of football in terms of Premier League football. And let's be honest, Donny Van Der Beek is not a player you associate with playing in, silly, small FA Cup ties or the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
You play him. This game suits him tomorrow night. This game suits him because, yeah, it might be that he's getting used to the Premier League and the speed of it and whatnot, but he's played Champions League before with Ajax, so it's no different to what he was doing at Ajax tomorrow night. And it's a game that suits him because you're going to need intelligent players to play against tactical genius players out there. So you're going to need players like this. And I think, Van Der Beek, for me, has to start tomorrow. I think it's ridiculous if he doesn't. But I think players such as, people will question, well, if we're going to start Van Der Beek, then what's happening with Pogba? How are you going to fit him in? And then you've got to fit Fernandes in. If I'm being honest, I know people might disagree with what I might say here, and I know I went on Rich's show and I didn't really speak about it, but I have had a bit of a change of heart, to be fair, in the aspect of maybe we need to give Fernandes a rest, to be honest. He's played every single minute from the start of the season until now, bar some FA Cup, bar some Carabao Cup games. So I think possibly give him a rest, play Van Der Beek. What's the difference if you play Van Der Beek in there and you play Pogba, for example? And Fernandes coming off the bench, he's still going to be there on the bench if you need to create something. And if you've got players like Tellers, you don't need to worry about like corners or free kicks or anything. You don't need to worry about that because you've got other players that can take them. Rashford can take free kicks as well. So you don't really need to worry about other players. But no, I'll quickly run through a lineup that I'd play tomorrow. I'd play a four at the back just to clarify for Owen.
I'm sure we'll have a bit of words. We'll have some words from Owen about that
afterwards. I'm well aware.
I mean, I wouldn't do what Owen would do tomorrow and probably play Henderson in that. I think I might.
Clean sheets only for Henderson, but carry on.
But De Gea got a clean sheet the last match.
So, Tom, don't let him derail you, Tom. Don't let him derail you. Don't let him derail you.
Anyway, I'd have De Gea in there. Tellers left back. I said what I needed to say about Luke Shaw and Rich's show. I played Tuanzebe and Maguire next to each other tomorrow. I don't need to even say the name for right back. I think we all knew that would be AWB. Personally, I'd play two holding midfielders. I don't really know, to be honest. I play Van Der Beek in the 10 role. I play Van Der Beek in the 10 role 100%. I play. You know what? I'm going to go awkwardly. I'd play Pogba and I'd play Matic in the holding roles, and I'd play Van Der Beek in the 10 role. You'd play Rashford out left. I think you'd be stupid if you don't play Martial, considering he can play a Champions League game, but he can't play any Premier League. So what's the point in burning the legs out of someone like Cavani who can start, against Arsenal? And I know people are going to have meltdowns with, right, so who do you put out on the right-hand side? I know people are going to say, why don't we play Mason Greenwood? The reason why I'll say I wouldn't play Mason Greenwood is And Sean said it on Rich's show last night. It was Greenwood is very, we know his talent's going forward. However, he's a young lad and he's still learning the game. He doesn't have the defensive mechanisms of a more experienced player than him. Like Daniel James offers you a defensive cover. Yeah, he might, people can criticise him for what he wants, but the lad gets back and he can help out Wan-Bissaka and he's not going to be doubled up on. Whereas Greenwood didn't really do that, and that's one of the main reasons why toward post-lockdown, when we were playing Greenwood out on the right and Wan-Bissaka was playing right back, was the reason why Wan-Bissaka wasn't playing as well, because he got doubled.
Oh.
So you can't really do much there. So to be honest with you, people can disagree with me on it. I'm going to say I would play Juan Mata tomorrow. I play Juan Mata out on the right hand side tomorrow.
Interesting shout.
People can say that it's and everything, but if you counteract the link-up play, and like I've already said about, you need as many intelligent players out there as you can. You need intelligent players out there. You need such a, Van Der Beek's an intelligent player. So's Mata. So's Pogba. Twanzebe. We saw that experience. We saw that defensive know-how. Wan-Bissaka's, doing what he's doing. Tellers has done what he's done in Portugal. De Gea. There's enough experience and intelligent players out there to get a job done against Leipzig for me.
Yeah, I think intelligence is definitely intelligence and what's the other word? Like experience. Intelligent experience is what you do need in these knockout games, 100%. And not knockout games, just Champions League in general, in these big ties. So I think Mata playing is a very interesting shout. But I do agree what you said about Greenwood. I do agree what you were saying about Mason Greenwood. I do think defensively he doesn't have the same as what Daniel James has. So again, very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what the people in the comments say about that, and also what Owen says about that. A few comments I want to read out before I do. Thanks for RB Comments for joining. Really appreciate it. Make sure you do check him out. Does some great Juventus edits and videos like that. Make sure you do check him out if you haven't already. A few people talking about Bayern Munich. Matthew says this game is more important than PSG in terms of qualification. I agree. As I said at the start, if we win this game, it means that a win against Istanbul in our next game, which realistically we're expected to do, we only need 1 point out of our last 3 games to qualify. It should get us to qualify. And out of those last 3 games, especially the fact that we beat PSG away from home, that was arguably one of our hardest games, or the hardest game in the group. So you'd expect us to get at least 1 point from those last 3. Big Ron responding to what you said here. Tom says Dan James offers defensive cover. He says that shouldn't be the reason to start him. Just tell Greenwood to track back. If we're going to play Dan James on the wing for defensive reasons, we may as well go 4 or 5. So what are your thoughts on that, Tom? Do you agree with that? Do you think that you could play Greenwood and you could just tell him to track back? Oh, I'm not sure if he's here. Well, we'll get him to answer that when he comes back. But Owen, you can take over. I don't think Tom's here to directly respond to what you say just yet. But yeah, what in terms of the way you'd line up, do you think Donny Van Der Beek should get in? Do you agree with how Tom set out the lineup, or do you think you'd make a few changes?
Yeah. Before we get into that, can we just bring up the comment from Matthew again?
Yep. Okay. We'll bring up Matthew's comment.
I don't agree with it. Now, on your point of the lineup. No. To be honest, I really don't agree with that. I think that.
All right, no need to go with it. Really, I mean, just saying you don't agree with it's fine. You didn't need to go that far.
No, the only reason I say that is because if you told me at the start of the group, if you said what's more important to our qualification, winning at PSG or winning at home to Leipzig, what would you have said?
Winning away at PSG.
Right, now on the lineup. I'd say Van Der Beek should play,
Okay.
definitely. But I've gone through this before, and you have shot me down for saying Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's a small-minded manager. He's a weak-minded manager.
Yeah, because I don't think that makes any relevance.
Do you not think that he plays up to the press in terms of the press make a big hullabaloo about someone, then he just doesn't play them?
I think he's got his own mind, to be honest.
If, for example, he comes out about Greenwood and says, "I don't know, don't want to disappoint you, but nothing's happened on that front. He's training," and then he doesn't play. When has he played? So don't like. He comes out with these comments about, oh, Greenwood's fine, yet he doesn't play. Now you tell me that's not a weak-minded manager.
Well, no, it's a strong-minded manager because even though people keep asking about him, he still doesn't play him because he doesn't want him to play. If he was weak-minded, he'd just crumble.
A strong-minded manager would come out in a press conference and say he's not playing because he's been looking at tarts on his phone, or he's been down the boozer with Williams or whatever happened. I don't know what happened, but
I don't think we should speak about it. Matthew's saying Owen disagreeing for sake of controversy. So now we've got a bit of a back and forth in the chat.
No, this is funny from Matthew actually. I mean, so we may as well have a show just him. He should. I mean, to be honest, I'm with his most outspoken opinions. He should come on. Matthew, click the link.
No, he told me he was going to come on. He told me he was going to come on soon. I'm not sure if that's tonight. Maybe another time.
Matthew should click the link down. It's only the link, Matthew. It's quite easy. I can do it. Just click the link down below.
Well,
either that or keep your mouth shut and start having a pop at me.
All right. Let's simmer down now.
No. On your point about Van Der Beek,
Okay.
he should start. We're playing a team who are really good at passing the ball. I'm not scared. Ooh, Leipzig, but I'm not scared. I'm not scared.
That will come back to haunt you, my friend. That definitely will.
Unlike you and Tom, I'm not scared of Leipzig whatsoever. As long as we play the five at the back. I think we'll have enough to kill them. I really do. I think Cavani's going to have a big game tomorrow night. I think
Do you think he'll start?
Ooh.
I think he will start because Solskjaer doesn't have the cojones to play Greenwood, so he'll play Cavani.
Okay. Well, Tom, obviously, you're lucky you just missed what. Actually, to be fair to Owen, he made a few valid points, but then descended into attacking the viewers again. So normal service resumed really for Owen.
No, I was attacking Matthew. We can't really call a viewer.
No, you can't actually call him a viewer. You can call him a moderator.
Well,
exactly. Show some respect.
Why is he a moderator? Why is he a moderator? Because he just keeps.
I think I made him moderator ages ago. I mean, I don't really need a moderator. I don't have that many, bad or abusive posts really. So
I just said to Matthew, if you want to come, if you want to have a pop at my opinions, click the link and come on.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this stream, I'm not sure how much longer the stream's going to go on for, but he said he'd come on when he's had a few beers, so we'll see when that is. But obviously, Owen, because Tom's back now, I want to ask you about Tom's formation, the way he set out the team. How would you respond to what he put? Do you agree with some of the selections? What do you disagree with? What do you agree with? Just go ahead.
Surprisingly, I don't agree with the formation, but surprisingly, in terms of the actual personnel, I actually agree with him mostly on it, to be honest, which is surprising.
That is a first.
I would play. Obviously, my thoughts on Dean Henderson, but we don't need to go because that's covering old ground, and we don't do that on this show. We
definitely don't.
I'd say Tuanzebe should play, which I mean I can hear a little laughter in the background, but I'll carry on. Tuanzebe should play. Teller should definitely play.
Just saying, Daryl, the link's in the chat already if you want to come on, Daryl, by the way. The link's already in the chat. I'm not sure if you can see it in the chat, but
my predicted line, the one I'd want to see Greenwood and Rashford up front. Whether Martial will play, I don't really want him to be honest.
Ooh, I mean, I would have to disagree with that personally.
But the main reason for that is that he got what did he add against PSG realistically?
He won the penalty.
All right, apart from that. No, but in terms of if you're a defender, are you worried about Martial?
Yeah. Yeah, at this level, at this level with any player, yeah.
Well, obviously we'd be worried because we're not professional footballers. I mean, I'd be worried with just anyone running at me. I'd be worried with a 15-year-old kid running at me if he was quick enough. But I just think Mark.
Take a few years off, I reckon, and still be the same. Probably a 10-year-old.
Right, you've taken the chance there. No, but Martial. No, I just don't.
Are you seriously saying to me that you would not play Martial, especially because he's been?
I think Cavani's hold-up plays better than Martial's.
But
And I think against,
would you not agree?
Leipzig,
Would you not agree that we look a lot
you've
more
done your
threat?
English lips, Jamie. Would you not agree? You're trying to put a loaded question onto me, aren't you? You're trying to persuade me.
Would you not agree that we look a lot more threatening going forward? And last season we look a lot more threatening going forward when we had Martial and Rashford as a front two.
I don't think. I think Rashford's important because of his pacing behind, but I think you could swap Greenwood and Martial. You could interchange them. To be honest, I think
Tom, would you?
Greenwood's a natural number 9, and I feel like I think the Martial argument is one which we've been having for the last 5 years or however long he's been at the club. And to be honest,
Oh,
his,
don't.
his, well, his best season was his first season. We all know that. And to be honest, I think if you're telling me who would I rather play as number 9, Greenwood or Martial, I think Greenwood's got to have a chance up there.
Oh no,
Okay.
no, don't.
Okay. Well,
Let's be no. Come on. You're gonna play a player that you can easily play at the weekend fresh, and one player.
that's what I said. To him.
Greenwood's fresh. Greenwood's so fresh. He hasn't played in a month. He's
'cause he's
really
been
fresh.
off.
He probably
off.
springs out of bed every morning.
Yeah, but he can come off the bench. Or start both of them.
Well, you know what, guys? I'm going to bring Daryl into this because I'm sure he's been
Please.
listening to your.
Yeah.
Tom says, please.
Good Narbin, Daryl.
Good Narbin, forget.
Good Narbin. And obviously Daryl's football stand, Daz's football stand. Make sure you check that out as always. That's standard, really. Make sure you do check it out if you haven't already.
Standard.
It's no, it's good. It's good. I'm not saying your content's standard. I mean your content's world class. But it's standard on this channel. It's normal. It's normal on this channel to shout Daryl out. He's a legend. He's a legend of the channel. But Daryl, welcome. Thanks for coming on. Obviously, these two have been talking about whether Martial's a player, whether Greenwood should get the nod over Anthony Martial. In terms of going forward tomorrow, in terms of how Ole might potentially set it up, how do you see it? Do you think Solskjaer's going to go for a Rashford and Martial partnership similar to what he did against PSG? Or do you think he's going to bring Greenwood or even Daniel James into the mix?
Well, I hope he does keep the Rashford to Martial link because it certainly worked against PSG, didn't it? We caused problems for them. Pete and Leipzig defensively, they're a decent side defensively, but they're not the best defensive side in the Bundesliga, and they're certainly not a team that you can, you can't say that you're going to absolutely, they're not a team that we're going to dominate. Because I'll tell you now, they are top.
Oh no, they're not.
And they are a very good side. However, I don't think they're as good as they used to be with Timo Werner. But they've got obviously Piatek from AC Milan, who's caused problems. Coulson, who causes problems. Sabitzer, not Campbell, he plays for Leverkusen.
Oh no.
Sabitzer, Lema, other players like that. And their defence is brilliant. Mukiele, Upamecano, Galaxy, one of the best goalkeepers in the Bundesliga. So it's not going to be easy. But I think if we play the Rashford Martial partnership up front, then I don't see us having too many problems getting past their defence. On the Greenwood topic, I'd rather see Greenwood play than Dan James. Dan James just lacks a lot of football intelligence, and even if you ask Mark Goldbridge, he'll tell you the exact same thing because he said that a few times. He's good on the ball on the right-hand side, but half the time he'll just run into trouble instead of finding different routes to goal. And there's times where he should pass it and he just tries to be greedy. And I mean, I like Dan James because he's pacey, but I just don't think he's got the capability at all. And I think Greenwood's levels ahead of him. And for me, Greenwood really should start. I don't think he'll start ahead of Anthony Martial, but I think if we play, I don't know, if he plays like, I'm trying to think what formation. If we play back four, if we play 4-2-3-1 again, like we did against Chelsea, then stick him at right mid. But I think realistically, I think he'll go for the back five again, like he did against PSG. So I don't see him starting.
A lot of people are saying that. A lot of people are saying he's going to go back to the back five, and I would probably support him in that. I think even though you'd argue that Leipzig don't have the same sort of quality going forward as PSG, I think we seem to do a lot better when we play that five at the back. We seem to be a lot more resolute, and we seem to actually be a lot more threatening going forward as well. So I think Solskjaer will opt for that, and I think he will opt for McTominay and Fred again. I think he will go with that. But in terms of Van Der Beek as well, I want to get your thoughts on Van Der Beek as well. And Tom and Owen, if you want to jump in on anything that Dale says, please do feel free to do so as well. But they've both been talking about Donny Van Der Beek. I think both of them have said that he should start. What are your thoughts? Do you think finally this is the time that Donny Van Der Beek should get a starting place? And thanks for joining Iron Man as well. Appreciate it.
100%. Couldn't agree with them more. I think Van Der Beek really needs to be starting more often, because at the minute he's becoming a bench warmer, and it's a player of his quality, very good at AFC, he's very good at Ajax, he's got Champions League experience. Why are you not playing him in the Premier League? That's what I want to know. He's never really started him. I think he's only started one game, that was against Luton. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
yeah,
I'm not sure. He might have I think Brighton as well in the Carabao Cup, but yeah, basically.
But it's ridiculous. A player of his calibre shouldn't be bench warmer, and he's the sort of player that you want in your team. He's a leader in the midfield. He always was for Ajax, and was a player who had an eye for goal. But I think Ollie needs to be starting him more often, so he can actually sort of get used to how the team plays and get used to Ollie's system. But at the minute we're not seeing anything from him because he's not getting the game time. And if you look when he came on against Crystal Palace, got himself a goal straight away. So it shows that starting him would create a bit of an impact. But I do understand what Iron Man in the chat just put. Obviously, he's like a Jock fan because he has Bruno. But I know Bruno's better than Van Der Beek. But who would you start? Would you start Van Der Beek over McTominay? Because if it was me, I certainly would. I would play Van Der Beek over McTominay any day, because Van Der Beek is a centre mid / CDM in my eyes, because he plays CDM quite a bit, and I think he'd be perfect. McTominay for me, I know he's only young and we shouldn't be criticising him too much, but he is absolutely atrocious. Say
what you really mean, Daryl.
He is shite. But literally, I think Van Der Beek would, if he was going to start, would be best starting ahead of McTominay, because I think Fred's decent. To be honest, I know he's not. Okay, it's not the best midfield CDM that we could have, really, but I'd rather play Van Der Beek over McTominay any day of the week, and he needs to be starting more, in my opinion, because it is getting beyond a joke now. We brought him in, and he's not being able to show his quality. It's becoming a joke.
And even when he does get on, it's only for kind of the last 10 minutes. I think even if he is going to be used to the sub, I think he should be used for more minutes.
What he's actually capable of.
Exactly. And when he has come on, he's been impressive, especially against Newcastle. I think everyone points towards that performance. When he came on against Newcastle, we saw a massive change. Exactly. We saw a massive change. So I think he's earned a starting spot, and I would love to see him start against Leipzig. I'm not sure if he will. I think Solskjaer might revert back to McTominay and Fred again. But we'll wait and see, obviously. We'll wait and see.
I think McTominay will definitely start because he was in the press conference. So
that is true, yeah. He was in the press conference with Ollie today, sat next to him, and usually that means they're going to start. But sometimes it doesn't, so you can't be 100% sure. Lewis saying our best midfield is Fred, Van Der Beek, and Fernandes. So Pogba nowhere to be seen in there. I think a lot of people are.
I think Pogba's just overhyped nowadays.
Changing their opinions on Pogba.
He was good, but then she's just gone from good to shit, really, hasn't he?
It's Italy. It goes from being like, the next Pirlo to being, the next Joe Allen.
Abdoulaye Doucouré. So...
He's actually consistently. It's like he ain't that good.
But yeah, obviously I've just seen we've been live for about an hour and 10 minutes. I'm going to go around everyone and just ask them their score prediction, then we'll probably wrap up there for this stream. I do apologise, Darryl. I wasn't able to get you on for longer. But yeah,
I was doing me. I was finishing my stream anyway. So
good result for the old Borough, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2-0 win.
Not bad.
God, we made hard work of it. Made hard work.
But the final thing we always like to do on Red Dead Weekly is get our score predictions in. I'm going to go first this time, and then I'll let you guys take the floor. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I think that Leipzig, are a team not a team to be messed with. I don't agree with what Owen was saying in the sense that we should be more fearful of Chelsea than we are of Leipzig. I think Leipzig in terms of well, that's what Owen said.
I said that I'm more scared. I was more scared of Chelsea than Leipzig.
No disrespect. Leipzig are top of the Bundesliga and are unbeaten.
Who have they played? Have they played anyone near
Chelsea than Leipzig? And you're mistaken, mate.
Well, have they been anywhere near the top? Have they won against anyone near the top, or have they just played the Duffers at the bottom?
The Duffers at the bottom.
I can't actually remember who they've been against, actually, because I've been looking at all the Bayern games more than that.
No, my point is that you were saying that they're not as good as they were when they had Werner.
Well, no, but they're still.
Well, Werner plays for Chelsea.
Reason. Yes, but
Werner was
because their defense is solid.
So Leipzig
Werner was terrible against us. I'm going to be honest. They took him off.
Look, Leipzig drew to Leverkusen. Recently on the 26th of September. So I'm not worried.
Okay, well so it's off one result.
The last 4 matches in our competitions, including Besiktas here, who have a reasonably good side.
Exactly. I would listen to Darryl, to be honest with you, on this one. He's watched the Bundesliga, probably more than you are. But
somebody watches the Bundesliga, man.
But you're entitled to your opinion.
I mean, we'll see, won't we?
Few predictions coming in. Matthew goes with 1-1. I agree. I'm man going with a 3-1 win. I'll say. I mean, a win. A win would be brilliant. A win would be. But okay, my prediction, I said 1-1. I think we'll get a penalty. I think we'll score the penalty. I think it'll be Bruno Fernandes.
When do we not get a penalty? Let's be honest.
Exactly. Yeah, that's just standard, really. But we'll go to Owen first. What is your prediction going into this game? And I have a feeling it's going to be a positive one, considering how confident you are.
Yeah, it's going to be a win. It's going to be 2-1.
So I was expecting a bigger win. I was expecting a bigger win than that, to be honest.
No, because I do think that the scoreline won't reflect that. We'll miss a load of chances. We should have won 4-1, but we'll win 2-1. I think.
Won't be if we don't turn up.
Well, I think we will turn. I think we will turn up. I think we'll ride an early wave of pressure in the first 15 minutes. I agree with you with the penalty. I think we'll get a penalty. May as well write that in now. We'll get a penalty. And then we'll score that. So we'll go 1-0 up. Leipzig will threaten again. We'll score a second through Cavani. And then
Jesus, it's like a timeline.
And then Leipzig will score late on, and it'll be really nervous towards the end, but we'll just about go over the line.
Okay. I'm surprised if you're that confident. You're saying we're just about going to go over the line.
I think I'm confident we'll win, but I think we'll make hard work of it because that's what we do. That's our speciality, making hard work of stuff we shouldn't be.
All right, fair enough.
Even score against Chelsea.
Exactly.
Yeah, but as we established, they part the bus.
Tom, your prediction?
Well, I'm not going to be going really balls deep like I did with Chelsea. I said 4-2, and I was 6 goals behind the pace, really. So I got hugely let down in that aspect. But you watch tomorrow, it'll be something like 5-3 or something. It'll be something stupid. No, I'm going to go probably. To be honest, I'm just going to go for a boring 0-0 draw. If I'm being honest, I just, it's like it'll probably be just a stalemate. To be honest, both teams will have chances, but I don't think either team will take them. I don't think we'll take them. And the Chelsea game proved that. I think if Kepa's in the net, I think we win the game 1-0. But if like does it? If Kepa's in the net, he'd probably spill the ball and then just tap it in or something.
Maybe he doesn't save Rashford's one in the first half.
Yeah, exactly. So Mendy doesn't save the Fernandes curling effort near the top corner. Anyway, but I think it's just got a weird feeling to it because Ollie for some reason gets the tactics right in the Champions League. In the Europa League he didn't, which is a weird thing, but he gets it right on the big games, and I see Leipzig as a big game because many people were saying, "Oh, well, you might as well just, give PSG a free pass. It's between Leipzig and United." But I think people have already written off Istanbul already. But we're in a group where 3 teams where PSG won the French league, B, Leipzig got to the Champions League semi-final and was quite good in the Bundesliga last season, and C, Istanbul, love it or hate it, won the Turkish league. So, but and people are already saying, people are writing Istanbul off. Don't write people off that can win their own league. I wouldn't say that, but it feels like there's going to be chances, but I just can't see us taking them, to be honest. And it wouldn't surprise me if we got another 0-0 draw.
And also,
it wouldn't surprise me.
Our record at Old Trafford isn't great this year as well. We haven't won in our last 5. So,
what's it about Mike Dean being the ref of the Arsenal game?
Oh yeah, Matthew's saying Mike Dean apparently is a ref for the Arsenal game. So
he is.
Look, when we do the preview for the Arsenal game, we'll get into that more. But Daryl, the last man standing, what is your prediction?
It's going to be tough. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Leipzig do come away with a win.
I thought you said they weren't that good.
No, he was saying the opposite.
I know, he said they're not as good as they were without Werner.
They're not as good without. They're not as good as.
They still got to the semi-final without Werner, did they not?
Yes, but they can still get results. So I wouldn't take.
Wait, no. As a Bayern fan, if Bayern Munich were playing them, would you be scared?
Well, obviously, Bayern's Bayern, man.
Imagine being able to say that. What a luxury.
Lewandowski scored 40.
So that's gangster. That's gangster. You can say that sort of thing when you've got Lewandowski. You can just say, yeah, well, we've actually got Lewandowski, so yeah. Well, but we'll be able to say that about Greenwood anyway, so it's fine.
All right.
I'll take a point from this match. I'll take at least a point. As long as we stay unbeaten in this group, that'd be great. But
if you said to me after playing PSG and Leipzig that we'd have 4 points, I'd be very, very happy. So I would take a point as well.
Yeah. I think that's a Solskjaer legacy, though, taking a point.
1-0, I'll go for you.
1-0. So we've got a few 1-0s actually. Which is
is there a prize for the right prediction, or?
No, I leave that to Daryl. Daryl's the guy.
You had 6 winners tonight.
I saw it was the most in Daryl's football stand history.
Yeah, mate.
That's what I'm saying. Daryl's got that trademark. I don't want to take that off him. That's it. That's his thing. We're not going to do that. And also, I'm a bit skint. I'm not going to go out and get prizes. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna. I can give you a shout out if they want.
They just get a shout out. That's all they do.
That's fair enough. If you want a shout out, just let me know. I'm happy to give it. You don't even need to get the correct score. But I'm not sure if Tom's still here. But Tom, Owen, and Daryl, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. We're going to wrap it up here. Hopefully, have a good end to your rest of your day, and good. And obviously, come up tomorrow, come the end of the game. Hopefully, we're 6
with a
points
beer in hand.
Yeah, hopefully. I'll tell you what, I will. If we win the game tomorrow, I'll do the review with a little refreshment in hand. But we'll see. Hopefully, we get the job done against Leipzig tomorrow. But make sure you do leave your thoughts in the comment section below, guys, as well. Subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. Make sure to check out Dazza's channel. And thanks for Tom, Daz, and Owen for coming on as usual. And that will end it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow after the game.
See ya.